Here comes Bovie. I just saw Carol's face.
Other ones Zoom now.
Yeah, she had to go out and buy a computer so Bovie could get into this shit.
So you're on, you got yourself in?
Oh, and that Lynch is in here. Steve and Barbara. I don't know who that is.
Stephen Barb Hazelton.
No, thank you, Mark.
Steve? Okay, it's 6:30. I'll call this meeting to order. Jennifer, Jeff, you on?
I'm here.
Hi, everybody.
Afternoon, Jennifer. Afternoon, Jeff.
Hey, Mark.
I have no voice of anybody.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us, Mark? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark, it's Craig.
I-
I have nothing.
Can you see us? Oh, can't hear us.
Do you have your audio turned on?
I have.
Now talk.
Anybody there?
Can you hear me? This is.
Now we can.
Okay,
Nope. We had a little computer dysfunction here.
we're good to go then.
We're good to go. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start out with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the
to the
flag
flag
of the United
of the United
States
States,
of America,
America,
and to the
the
republic
republic,
for which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and justice
for all.
for all. Okay, moving on. Consideration of any changes or additions to the agenda.
I have one item. Craig Hutbader, principal of school, just wanted to give an update on the well. So if we could add him kind of as a last minute addition.
Okay. Let's put that under other on ongoing in old business.
Okay. And then we have a Button Up Vermont update from Don Richardson as well.
Okay,
Which we can put on ongoing and old business as well.
yep. Anything else? Okay, moving to approval of August 4th, 10th, 2020 minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 4th and 10th.
I'll second it. The ayes? Aye.
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 Okay, moving to reports. Highway and transfer station update. Clinton.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay. I got this bid from Big Tex, which is Burns's, for the snowplow and sander. 10,995 is what they want. And I believe Earl's was right around 12.
Do we still have that bid sheet from Earl's?
I don't have it. I gave it when when we were going through the trucks with the bodies and everything.
Yeah, it looks like the plow. What was the price? 10,985.
Not 10,995.
The price from Earl's from way back was 10,958. So they're essentially the same price, just two different brand plows. That's what I have on my record at least.
Okay.
So they're
Hey, Jeff, when did we do that? When did you do that worksheet? Which set of, do you remember? Do you have the,
I think I'm looking at the latest one, and it was, I can forward it to both of you in a second.
well, I can pull it out if you, was it, which select board meeting was it?
Oh, hold on.
I think it was in July's, wasn't it?
The PDF was dated May 19th. So it had to have been right around May 19th.
Okay.
I think we pulled the trigger in July. I'll just send it to both of you. I just sent it to you in case you can't put your fingers on it easy. The sander was just a, was it a poly body sander?
No, stainless steel.
What was Earl's? Was that a stainless as well?
Yes, but it was the Western plow.
Yeah.
I think at the time we didn't have pricing from Burns Lucky. So the pricing we had was from Iroquois, but it was basically plow pricing the same no matter where you. Iroquois was more for the Fisher. They're 11,789 for the plow and the sander together.
Right.
Yeah, so we didn't have that pricing prior. I think we were trying to get it.
Okay.
I mean, we've always had good luck with the Fisher snowplows, so
Yeah, they're probably one of the better plows out there.
What model plow is that? Yeah,
It's-
what model plow?
it's a 9-foot commercial blade, straight blade.
Yeah, that gives you a little heavier cutting edge, a little more heavy plow. They're a little more durable than residential plows.
That's, with the mounting kit, the headlights, the wiring harness, the Fisher commercial plow installation, and the stainless cast 9-foot stainless sander.
Is that a
Stock item. Stock
3
item,
yards?
yeah.
You walked over each other, sorry.
Go ahead, Mark.
Was that a 3 yard
Uh,
sander?
yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's a
Probably
3
the 3 to 4.
to 4.
Yep. Chain delivery, not a belt.
Right.
Okay.
They're stock items for them at this point, right? The
Yeah.
plow and the-
Yeah. They're getting busy as far as
Yep.
time frame, that's all. And we do live in Mount Holly.
After all, it was snowing in where? Colorado?
Yeah.
That's right. From 100 to 30. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I'm okay with using Burns. You were talking, I believe, in my own opinion, Fisher is a better plow than a Western. And for the $40 difference, I'm okay with Burns.
I'm good with the Fisher plow too. I think it's probably a good choice.
Yeah, and especially the commercial blade, I've had one, they're a little more robust than the residential, so. If there's a motion,
I'll make a motion to buy the Fisher plow and stainless steel sander from Burns Equipment.
I'll second it. The ayes? Aye.
I,
How about a transfer station update, Clinton?
Everything seems to be running good. The food scrap containers are now it's every other week. So every 2 weeks they gotta go in.
Okay,
So we might want to think about doing our own
compost?
compost pile here soon.
Yep.
Uh,
What's the cost every other week?
That I don't know. It's been running about 800 pounds.
It's 40 cents a pound, I think is what we pay, if I remember correctly.
So it's starting to add up.
Yeah. And then, our time to take it up and
Yep,
run around to get the containers, and you're looking at 2 hours by the time you get up there and load them and back. Well,
Maybe we have, what's the compost guy from the district?
there's a new one. I can't think of his name, but
Think it'd be worth just having them come down to our transfer station and just picking his brain to see the cheapest way to put together a bin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I applied for that grant, but we were unsuccessful, and we can probably put something together, I think, for a low cost, and if we take the time that we're using to drop the scraps off and put it into managing the pile, at least that part won't cost us probably anymore.
Yep.
Maybe there's more hours for Kevin, but we can work something out, I'm sure.
I
can look
can,
into that. If you want to
okay.
look into that, and we can help you can let me know when he's coming, and I can meet you down there, just give a second set of eyes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get a hold of them tomorrow and see if he can come up. And, see what he thinks.
Yeah, even if we can start it out, for the scraps and so forth.
Yeah,
So that'll be beneficial.
okay.
Anything else, Bovee?
That's all I have.
Okay.
I don't know. Did we get any bids on the mower?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I got one question before we move on. I think there was talk of an excavator rental in the fall. Is that still on the radar, or what's the
I'm
next
hoping
month?
to, yeah, to finish up the grant, the MRPG grant for Roger Hill, because that's one that's left on the list for the 5-year plan.
You in the next month, what are you envisioning time frame on that to start that rental?
I'm hoping like the 3rd week of September.
Okay, that's right around the corner.
If they have one available. I haven't called them.
You going around doing a second round of road grading before winter hits? Or third round?
Third round, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff,
Overall, Bovee, I think the road's held up fairly well, considering some of the heavy rains that we've had.
Yeah, I got a few that are out of shape, but we're getting there.
Really, the steep sections are where the issues are. The flats don't look as bad, but anywhere you got a steep grade, is the sides are not holding up very well.
Yeah, them berms. But
Yeah.
Jeff, your microphone's really muffled.
I'll speak up.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
so yeah, it should be between this week if the weather stays good the way it is. This week I should be just about all done grading.
They're calling for rain Wednesday and Thursday, correct?
No, just Wednesday night.
Okay.
So,
They've changed it up a little bit then, which is a good thing.
yeah. So
Okay, the no bids on the land pride.
But I did notice that the state was doing auctions international.
I saw that.
So maybe, and I don't know if this is a good time to try to sell a ditch bank mower now, but in the spring we revisit it and try to put it up on that website.
No, I agree.
If you're a piece of equipment, I don't think we're going to find somebody within our town limits that wants it.
Nope. It's
I
kind of
wonder about Craigslist.
Can't hurt.
No, it wouldn't hurt. We can put it out there for that asking price. But I think they also charge you now to advertise on Craigslist.
Oh, do they?
I believe so. I think there's a cost associated with it now. But we can look into it. I can look into that. I'll look into that.
Maybe we can trade it for the blower.
Hey, you never know.
Maybe if you paint it up, you paint it up this winter, we'll get a better price.
Right. All right, moving on. Treasurer's report, David.
So, so I hope you all got it.
Yep.
I suppose the biggest news is that taxes are coming in pretty good. The bills were mailed August 14th, and we have about 50 to 60 more payments in the first 2 weeks this year than we had last year. So if you go to the first page of the profit and loss, the first section is the amount that was billed. The education, either homestead or non-residential. We don't have a budget figure from the state yet. It usually comes around the 15th of September. In the middle of the page is the $12,000 selling old one-ton truck. On page 2, the solid waste labels are sales were to August 24th, just short of $5,000. Page 3, I wrote the tonnage for the solid waste disposal on there. It's probably 15 to 20 tons more at this time than a year ago. Last year, Casella didn't list the open top container separately, so I don't have a measure on what it was last year. They are back in this spring, they started showing which load was that, so seems like quite a lot of stuff is going into the open top container. That might be where the increase is.
Everybody's had spare time to clean, David.
On page 4, the winter sand is all here. We've got the 4,500 tons. I put a mark there around the budget for the sand and the hauling, and it's our first year trying to track the hauling, so that's why that the hauling cost was more than what we had budgeted, but you got to take the two items together. At the bottom of that page 4, the Shunpike Bridge Road, the $8,200 spent is All we had was the contractor and the $200 state permit, so that paperwork, I assume you folks are putting together so we can get reimbursement. Keep it short because you have an agenda.
On the one question, which probably isn't necessarily a treasuring question, is the summer road materials budgeted 55, 62 to date. Is that typically where we're at this point in the year, every year? David?
That's a hard one to measure, so I have no clue. It doesn't seem very high, so.
Yeah, especially since our fiscal year ends in July 1st or June 30th.
I believe some of that's included for, you know, the spring mud season where they haul in some of the heavier materials.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct, Clinton?
Yeah, spend some now and spend the rest in the spring.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anything else, David?
No,
Okay, going to the LMHUUSD advance.
so typically this time of year, we, like I said, we won't have the actual state figures, but we certainly know we have money that the school could use.
Don't you typically write them out a check for $250?
Well, last year was the first year it was just one check, because before that we had Union 39 also.
Yep.
So we are a little bit late this year, but we had our tax bills going out late, so everybody was well aware of that. So we could do 350 this year.
Okay. I'm okay with that. That is nothing that we haven't done in the past to allow the school to have some funding until everything is completed.
Correct. So, and then next month we'll probably have a schedule for the rest of the year, and that's something they can plan on and we can plan on too.
Yep. So is there a motion to approve that? I'll make a motion that we allow the early advance of $350,000 to the school to help the school's budget out.
I'll second the motion.
The ayes? Aye.
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 Okay. Moving to the delinquents, taxes update.
So it's down to, well, 2.5 properties. They've allowed one to make half their payment. One will probably have to go to tax sale to collect it, and the other one is just a situation. So nothing we can't manage, not collecting it. So there are a lot of towns that have delinquent taxes back years. So
Sounds like we're a little better than we have.
So David, we just have one property that's going to go to tax sale?
just one.
Okay, and Kevin O'Toole will be handling that, is that right?
I would assume so.
Okay.
Okay, outside audit, the firm and the cost.
Well, I don't have any contacts. Right after the last meeting, when we talked about this, we started work on the tax bills, and the payments started coming in before we could even take a day off. So I haven't gotten very far. I did talk to Mendon today to find out who they used, because they had also had our former auditor, and yes, he had a brain tumor and is no longer able to work.
Okay, you think we can have some of that info before the next meeting?
Yes, I got a list from the Rutland Chamber of Commerce of auditors in the neighborhood, but they see not everyone can do municipal type audits.
Okay.
So David, you think we'll have these for the October meeting?
Yes.
Okay, because I think we want to get started on it this fall before tax season arrives, because we do have 2 years that the auditor needs to go through.
Yes.
So we'll put that on the October agenda. Okay, moving to the Rutland Regional Transportation Council update. Clinton?
They haven't had a meeting since the last one that we went through the ash board.
I had one the end of August.
Yeah, when I was on vacation. I don't know if Don went or not.
Don, you online? Don, are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You're muffled pretty good.
Is that any better?
No?
Okay. I did not get notification of the meeting.
Okay, so you were unnotified?
Correct.
Okay. Do we know when the next meeting is?
I haven't seen it yet.
Clinton, do you know when the next meeting is?
The meetings are held on the fourth Thursday of every month.
Every month, okay.
Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward schedule.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll have to get some information on the next meeting if we can. So moving, Mount Holly Planning Commission, Town Plan Revision Update. Jim?
Hold on a second, Mark. You skipped one agenda item. There was the Rutland County Solid Waste
Oh,
District.
I did. That's
Yeah.
because I wrote 4 hours, or 4 Thursdays, fourth Thursday. Okay, the Solid Waste District Update. Clinton?
Basically, they were just talking about, the, hazard waste collection on the 26th of September. You know, they still want you to do the social distancing and everything.
Has the, have they talked at all about the scraps within the local towns? Because I know there's been a lot more activity with the wildlife running around through the composting. Have they brought that up at all?
No, because theirs is in a solid container when we bring it up there,
Okay.
so.
Was there a plan on the social distancing side?
No, just, you know, this 6 feet and try to have a list of everything that you have to bring in when you bring it.
And they're required to wear masks?
Yeah,
Okay.
And Mark, it's posted around town on the bulletin boards, and it
No, I
has,
know it is.
yeah, it has those same requirements as it was earlier in the year, and they're listed on there as well. And I'll send it to the news flash as well. I don't think it's up on the website, but we'll get it up there too. And that
Yeah,
it does have all those health and safety requirements listed.
No, I know. I just wanted to make sure we're covering all our bases. Okay, then moving now to the Mount Holly Planning Commission Town Plan Revision Update. Jim and PC members?
Yes, we've started rewriting that as of our last meeting. And we'll be having a meeting on it tomorrow night to do some more work along with our regular work that we have to get done. So it's a plan in progress. There's not a lot to say right now yet. I think it's going to go better than we may have expected.
Do you have any outside agencies helping with this?
Right at this moment, John has some information, some different information from different things, but as of outside agencies working directly with us, not as of yet.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, I think that pretty well covers it for this time.
Any questions, Jennifer, Jeff?
So you've expanded beyond just the work plan and are actually delving into some of the details. Is that correct?
We're actually working on it.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're breaking it down, chunking it down piece by piece.
One sentence at a time.
Starting with like the land use, I'm assuming.
Starting right with page 1.
Jeff, you have anything?
Not related to the plan, just, I don't know if this is the proper time to see if you guys had any success in finding a clerk.
In finding what?
A clerk. I know that you had an opening. No luck, huh?
You say you want that job?
Nope, I'm good.
No, that's too bad. We can give you a heck of a deal. There's life.
If Jim wants, I have some information on that.
All right, John.
So we kind of been rotating acting clerks. Gabrielle did it last month and I'll do it this month. And we actually have a letter of interest as of today for the position as both planning commission clerk and potentially the nominee for administrative officer. So we'll discuss that at our meeting tomorrow.
Very good.
That's good news.
Yes. Anything else? All right, moving on to new business. Mount Holly Conservation Commission appointment.
So we, last month, we created the Conservation Commission, and we agreed to have 5 members. We put it out there that we were looking for interested parties, applicants, and we actually have 9 letters of interest for the 5 spots. So there's a lot of interest out there in this commission, and in addressing the various issues and concerns that the commission will look at. So I don't know exactly how we want to go through these, if we want to do this in executive session, or how we would like to discuss these letters of interest.
Yes, I would say we'd have to go into an executive session for these.
I would think that's probably the best course of action.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that now, or do we want to do it later? We do have an executive session that we have to have this evening on a personnel matter.
I would say we'll do it at the same time.
Okay. I guess we can do that, except that we will not, I can't imagine that people are going to stick around until the end of the executive session to hear the results of the Conservation Commission appointments.
We can announce them once we come out, then
Well, I don't think we'll be on video at that point.
Mark,
But-
Brigid Sullivan here. Could you
Yes.
send a news flash?
yep.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say, because I know I can see from the various people that are on this evening that several of those that were interested in the appointments are with us this evening. And, I just want to say thank you so much for all your interest. We have, in looking at these applications, there is just such a breadth of experience and knowledge that is being offered to the town of Mount Holly by a very diverse group of applicants. And I want to thank you for your interest. And I also want to thank you for your willingness to devote your expertise, your time, your talents, your knowledge, all of that to the town of Mount Holly in terms of helping us protect what we also value here. So those of you that aren't here, if we come out of executive session and the video is still going, I just wanted to say thanks before we move on. It's greatly appreciated.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Does making that decision in an executive session, does that influence the next item on your agenda at all?
I don't think it's going to, John.
Okay, just
Yeah.
just wanted to see if that was an issue.
Right.
No, they shouldn't. Okay. Knowing that's going to executive, we'll move on to the municipal planning grant.
John, do you want to just give us a brief, just the brief planning commission piece of this? Sort of what the planning commission discussed, and then we'll take over the select board piece. Would that work with you?
Sure. Yeah, we had a brief discussion about, so there is a municipal planning grant available. I guess it's yearly, but we were notified by the Regional Planning Commission that this could be an opportunity for us to get some data that could be useful for our town plan revisions. And the deadline is October 1st, so we're getting a little bit tight. But now that we have this Conservation Commission, they could theoretically help us out and help apply. The Planning Commission discussed a couple different options for things that might be helpful to us. And one that kind of kept coming up or kind of resonated was having a more up-to-date version of our natural resources inventory. A lot of the sort of meat of the town plan is in land use planning, and a natural resources inventory can be really critical for making decisions regarding land use.
And so the planning commission sort of signed off on turning this grant over for application to the Conservation Commission or the Select Board, correct?
I think our motion, Jim, please correct me if I'm wrong, was to go forth and apply for the grant and allow the Select Board to make the decision who should be the managing authority.
Hmm.
Does that sound what you're remembering, Jim? I think Jim's muted.
John, do you have the minutes from the meeting by any chance?
I do in my email.
Okay, because yeah, I would think that would be documented in the minutes.
Do you have any information on that, Jim?
I don't happen to at this moment.
Okay.
I do have the minutes here. So we have listed there is municipal planning grant update. Grant will be pursued with funds to be used to update the natural resources inventory last updated in 2008 and viewshed analysis. Motion made to inform Select Board of the interest in moving forward to pursue the municipal planning grant. Second, and vote 4-0.
Okay, and so the Planning Commission is going to apply for that grant? Is that what you're saying?
According to the grant, the Select Board or Planning Commission are two possible applicants, and any authority can be delegated to other commissions. So it's my thought that, if we do have a Conservation Commission that is specifically tasked with, maintaining inventories, it seems like a good use of that committee, but that's my point of view.
Right, I'm a little concerned just about the time frame, and it's a really new commission. I think that would be a lot to ask, to start with. So, and I definitely want to make sure that we hit the target date of October 1st in terms of getting this grant in, because we could definitely use it to update the inventory, which I think would be a great help both to the Planning Commission as it updates the town plan, as well as the work that the Conservation Commission will be doing. I mean, I'm more than happy to apply for this municipal planning grant, just to make sure that we do get it done in time. That way the select board could take the lead on this.
I mean, if you're asking my personal opinion, I think that, not speaking for the planning commission, but I have a feeling we're going to be very busy with the town plan revisions. And while we would like that grant to be pursued, I'm not sure, we wanted to commit to applying ourselves. But if the select board wants to do it, I don't see anything wrong with that personally.
I agree with you, John. I think you have a full plate. I think the planning commission has a full plate with the town plan revisions.
Then this can move on to the conservation group.
Well, I think we can do it, Mark, or I can do it at least.
No. What I'm saying is we can apply for the grant, then it falls under the conservation group from moving forward. And once one is established.
Okay, well, I guess I'll make a motion that the select board move forward with pursuing the FY21 municipal planning grant to update the natural resources inventory.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving to the EAB grant.
Try to keep this brief and to the point. We obviously know that we've got Emerald Ash Borer coming towards our town at some point in the near future. So I noticed a grant program coming out through some of the emails that we get, and it's from anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. Could be used either for equipment costing over $5,000 or removal of trees and public awareness programs. So I talked to Clinton about tree removal, since that seems to be the current one of our expenditures lately. And he pointed towards a group of trees up on Belmont Road, just above Gates Road. So I'm thinking that we would use this grant to help fund the removal of a cluster of trees in that area. Probably the removal cost would be around $5,000. And then we would either, in order to do our matching portion of 50%, we would utilize the road crew to chip and remove the trees, bring the trees down to the town garage for burning in the wood boiler, and then also planting. We'd have to plant some replacement trees, small caliper trees. So I was proposing to use this to apply for this grant and focus on that area. I spoke to Don, since he's on the EAB committee, and he seemed open to the idea that it was a good use. So I was going to work with him to finalize the application. I have to also talk to the tree warden and get a letter of support and include that in the grant. But I'd like to move forward, and I thought that was the best use.
No, I agree. With the volumes of ash trees that we're going to have on the side of the roads, and some of them that the town crew can manage, and there's some out there that they cannot manage. So I'll
in reading through the grant application, we have to mitigation plan, which I was looking at Rutland Town, and it's like a 5 to 6 page plan. I figured I would work on the draft of that using some of the other plans out there as templates. And then also we have to step up our tree inventory, which I'll work with John to do before the deadline of October 31st. But I think it's probably good to push that along. Just all roadside trees really is the priority right now.
Yep. No, I agree. I think that's a great idea. Is there a motion? I'll make a motion that we apply for the EAB grant.
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody.
Okay, moving to the SFY 21 Municipal Highway and Stormwater Mitigation Grant Program. There is not a program cap.
I lost you there for a part. I lost all the things you just said. I lost you on.
We're on the Municipal Highway and Stormwater Mitigation Grant.
Yeah, so I was reading further into that, and it's for a large project over $250,000. I was looking into that today, this afternoon. So unless we've got a large project in mind that has to be done, this really wouldn't fit upon further examination of it. The only thing I was going through the roadside inventory that's online that was done in 2017. Clinton, we haven't really talked about any large projects that need to be done in the next few years. Are you aware of anything that's worthy?
There's that first culvert on Sawyer Hill that we ought to think about looking at. I mean, that second one is just, I don't foresee any way of doing that one with what the state wants.
The
The way
first
the
one.
land is. Yeah,
How big is that first one? Like,
the first one's 5 by 9.
so that probably would approach the value of that. I mean, I know we've got money set aside in our, I think, bridges line item in our finances.
Yeah, that first one was patched together, if I'm not correct, after Irene. So that's probably going to need some attention in the near future.
I know the bottom of it's all rotted,
Yep.
so.
This one's got kind of a short turnaround time. They came out with the program on August 28th and they're ending it, I think, on the 9th of October. So I'm willing to look further into it. I think, it's worth a shot, I guess, if we think that has to be done there in the near future.
I don't think we're going to have a choice in the near future where the bottom is rotted out. The question is the funding, does the town have ample funding if it's more than the cost of the grant?
Yeah, it's 20%. I think you can get it's 80% grant. So we'd have to, let's just say it. My gut is that project is going to be somewhere in that vicinity. So at 80%, we're going to have to come up with 50 grand.
Yep. David, do you know what's in our budget for bridges?
The budget, we don't have it, other than to make a small contribution to the fund.
So our bridge repair fund is 50. And our
Correct. Mark asked for the budget. There's
Gotcha.
two different things. The very first page of the balance sheet, Mark.
Yep.
It has to be a large scale grant for bridges and roads. They were talking about culvert. I don't remember where, but it's got a 20% town contribution, so that's what they're looking at, what's in the balance.
Municipal highway and stormwater mitigation.
Yeah, yes. And, Mark asked for what was in the budget.
So 5889.
I think the
Yeah.
completion too for this is 2022. So there is some time.
Yeah, there's some wiggle room in that. And I think we ought to, especially with that culvert in the condition it is, I think we ought to at least make an attempt at it.
Maybe we could even budget in next fiscal year for
Yes.
portion of funds. And
Yep.
is the Beaver Meadow, not that that serves really about the same amount of people, the Beaver Meadow, as you make the bend, that one's been repaired, correct, Clinton?
You mean the culvert?
Yeah, as you go up and around by Garrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't there one down on Lake Street that's problematic? Is it Lake Street? Is that where that is?
I think with that one, there's a side culvert, correct me if I'm wrong, Clinton, that we need to address, but it's not a large project, at least to put it back to the way it is currently.
Okay.
I mean, there's a larger project that could be had, but it's a question of what priority it is.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna look to see if there's a motion to apply for the stormwater mitigation.
I'll make a motion to apply for the fiscal year 21 municipal highway and stormwater mitigation grant program.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. I'll second the motion to apply for the grant. The ayes?
Aye.
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 Knowing that this can have a completion date of the 22, I think we're in pretty good shape with that.
Yeah, I'll work with the planning commission for assistance to make sure that we put a good package together. It started the conversation, but I need to talk to a different person there. Make sure I'm on the right track.
Are you talking about the Rutland Regional?
Yeah, Devin.
Oh, the Transportation Council, right, okay.
Okay, moving. Town clerk fees.
This was one of my many conversations with VLCT. This came up about reporting of the fees received. And the statute says that within 30 days after the completion of a town's fiscal year, each town clerk shall disclose to the public the total amount of fees received as part of his or her compensation during the fiscal year immediately preceding. And so I wanted to, do that. And so I was able, I had asked David for let me pull out my papers here. For the schedule of town officers' compensation. And so the fees for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020, the clerk fees were $20,876.70. And this is in addition to the salary of $36,000. And then we received the Vermont Municipal Clerk Fee Schedule from VLCT. And it was talking about the distribution of the fees between the town and the clerk. And some fees go to the clerk. If the clerk doesn't receive a salary, they receive a salary, the fees go to the town. So my question to Sue was if there had been some sort of agreement around this. And I guess it's just the way it's always been done. Is that correct, Mark?
That's a good question. It was long before me, so we probably have to dig back. I don't know when.
Yeah, well, you know, part of this is around the fees that come in terms of helping cover any costs around the administrative officer and things along those lines. I would love to know if there was an agreement in place on all of this.
We'll probably have to go back and talk to maybe some older potential select board members. Because, and again, this is long before I think any of us been in this position. So we would probably have to reach out to probably Raymond Turnbull, and, you know, maybe Annette might know some of this.
Okay, I'll look into it a little further. Because it's quite a hefty amount of fees on top of a you know, a decent salary.
Yes. Hello. I've been here almost 38 years. The salary started out at not very much, and I've worked a lot of years. The fees have always gone to me. That was part of the deal when I started. That's what it was for all the clerks before that. And, you know, that's what it's been.
Is there an actual agreement that spells that out, Sue?
Verbal. I mean, it's always been. There's a lot of towns. That's what they do, and that's what it's always been.
Well, I think we should probably
find the fees, the fees gone to the town clerk since the beginning of time.
Okay, and things always change. So I think probably we might want to look at this in terms of a, I don't know, probably a job description and put it into some sort of writing so that we have it spelled out so that this doesn't become an issue again down the road.
Never been before.
The salaries continue to go up, as do the fees.
The fees just went up this past year, mostly with the state put the fees up. $4 of that, of every page I record goes to the record fee. I'm sorry if you don't like it. This is the first time I've made a little bit of money, and you know, let me know if you don't want me here.
I don't think that's where we're going with this. We're just trying to figure out what the policy is.
I don't see what there's to figure out. You're the only one who's ever brought this up.
Well, I'm looking at a rather hefty, you know, salary for 30 hours a week with those fees on top of it. And I'm concerned about, you know, the taxpayers of Mount Holly. And, you know, just
go to me and not a salary.
Pardon me?
That's why the salary is smaller. And there's a lot of times if I don't do any work, I don't get anything extra.
The salary is about $38,000.
And I've been here 38 years.
Why did you go down this path?
Okay, well, I think it would probably, as we go through and look at job descriptions and all, that we look at this one as well, just so we do have it spelled out and there's no questions going forward.
I'll reach out to some of the older select board members and see what their agreement was on it. And then we'll talk about it at a later date.
Sounds good.
It would be nice if you could talk to me about it too.
Absolutely will, Sue. I'll stop and see you in person. As a matter of fact, Sue, I'll come and see you tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. Moving to designate Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns Annual Business Meeting Delegate.
So this is the Town of Mount Holly's delegate to VCLT's annual meetings for the Property and Casualty Intermunicipal Fund and their Employment Resource and Benefits Trust. The meeting, all of this is being held virtually this year. And this meeting is actually taking place on Wednesday, the 30th at 1 o'clock. And we do need to delegate appoint a delegate to attend those meetings. I did it last year. I can't do it this year. So I don't know, Jeff, Mark, are either of you interested?
What time of the days do they hold these?
Well, it's just Wednesday, the 30th at 1 o'clock.
And where is it?
It's held virtually. It's on GoToMeeting.
Wednesday, the 30th. Can you send me the information and I'll do it?
Okay, I'm pretty sure I sent it to you, but I can send
If
it.
you mind, I have a whole big pile of papers. So I'm pretty sure I have it. Let me go into my emails right here. All right, I'll participate in that.
Okay, so did you find the email?
I have it. Yep, I have it.
Okay, so there's just a form you need to click on and fill out, and that will take care of it.
Yeah, register for the town fair.
But it's the delegate piece of it, yeah.
Yep. Okay, moving on, fall, winter transfer station hours with start date of October. Let's pull my calendar.
Mark,
Yes,
I was thinking September 30th would be the last Wednesday.
yep, I was looking at that here between
And then-
October.
And
I agree.
October 4th being the first Sunday.
Yep. So October 4th is going to be the first Sunday we go into winter hours. Jeff, Jennifer, you okay with that?
I'm good.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, any other new business?
I have a quick question. I've received a couple of inquiries about a no swimming sign that has gone up at Star Lake, and I've made a few calls about it, but nobody seems to know where it came from or why.
That was a spur of the moment. We've had a complaint from Paul, a local guy. There was piles of dead fish floating in the lake.
Well,
It looks like with the potential contamination of the fish and the low oxygen in the water, we didn't want people in it. I made the call.
okay, yeah, because generally that is either the state that makes that decision or the select board makes that decision, and I don't recall it being brought to the select board.
Correct. It was a spur of the moment because of the dead fish in it. So it was a decision that I'll own. So if it was the wrong decision, it's a decision I'll still own. But with the volume of dead fish and the potential hazards, it's a call that I made at a spur of the moment.
Mark,
Yes,
Brigid Sullivan here.
yes, Bridget.
I appreciate that. We were down there, Anna McGee Hansen and her husband and I went down and cleaned a bunch of the weeds and muck and stuff out of the beach area yesterday. There weren't any dead fish in the swimming area. I had heard about the dead fish before. They seem to have all moved over near the outtake area.
I'm sure.
And the smell that was there earlier is gone. So I do think it's cleaned up enough now that I don't know if we should have the water tested or whatever, but it seems clear enough now that you could allow swimming again.
And I'm okay with that, but at the time frame when we made the decision, it was pretty rancid.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm okay with the signs coming down now.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Not a problem. Anything else? Okay, moving on. Ongoing and old business, local hazard mitigation plan report.
I'll take this one. We've been working since, you guys can hear me, correct?
yep,
Okay,
and
I just got to pull the plan up. I closed it by accident. We've been working on the plan with mainly Stephanie, and since June, Russ, Clinton, and John McCann. And John, feel free to, or Clinton, feel free to chime in if I've missed something here. But this mitigation plan is required by the state to have in place. This is the first time we've had such a plan in place. And there are several sections. We've worked through the first 5 sections, which includes the purpose, the community profile, the planning process, which includes the plan developers. And then we did a hazard identification and risk assessment, which is section 5, which I feel like is the most important part of the plan that we've made to date. And that identifies the highest risk items in town, which we prioritized as flash flooding, high winds, snow, ice, and then kind of an emerging topic, but we still felt was important, was drought, given the lack of water, at least in this year, from rain. So we're at that spot where we've identified the hazards, and the final 2 sections are the mitigating strategies and planned maintenance, which we're going to be working on later this month with Stephanie. I don't know if anybody's really had a chance to look through it, but if anybody has any questions, I can go into further detail or just go right to questions.
What I've gone through it, Jeff, looks good.
Yeah, we value any input. I mean, there was only 4 of us really residents, so certainly it's a big town with a lot of square miles. So we just ask anybody has comments, just send them along. I send them right to me, and I can make sure Stephanie incorporates, or we can talk about it and then incorporate.
Yeah, I just have the one comment on the phone backup batteries. It says in there that there are many areas that cannot receive cell phone service. And it's just, there's no cell service for the most part in Mount Holly. So I think that's, that probably needs to be reworded. I can say that I just went for 10 days without a phone. It was not a good thing. It's really problematic. And I've heard from, several others too, that, when the power goes out, it would be nice to have that, the cell service available. I'm a big conservationist, all for it, but at the same time, I do think that we need to move into the 21st century and, make sure we have cell service available, especially for some of our older residents who, when that phone goes out, they feel extraordinarily vulnerable. And usually it's during inclement weather.
I'll make sure we address that.
Thanks.
The comment period will end on 14 days starting on the 2nd. So that should put us around the 16th. So won't be the final time for comments, but be nice to hear from anybody in town if they have anything by then.
Anything else on the hazard mitigation plan? Okay, moving to the Federal CARES Act grant application. Update, John?
Yeah, we talked about this briefly last month. I've been working with Sue on putting together an application for this grant. It's a grant that is using Federal CARES Act funds to increase the amount of land records that are available digitally throughout the state. And we have submitted the application, and it turned out like a couple of days later, they needed more information from us. So when I put that together, should be sending that in immediately after this meeting. The decisions are supposedly made by the 15th. And the plan is basically to, so I would want to point out one thing that I think maybe not a lot of people know is Sue is our steward of land records, as many people know. But what maybe people don't know is that Sue is forward thinking enough to have entered all of our, well, essentially, 40 plus years worth of land records indexes into a Microsoft database. So, theoretically, this would be a very easy thing to quote unquote digitize and upload for public access. The problem is, despite Sue's good work there, is the company that would host it is unable to do any conversion in the time frame that is required by the grant. So that puts us in a little bit of a pickle where we have to do potentially some manual inputting in order to satisfy the grant. And I will also point out, this is due almost immediately before the election. So this is a very difficult process. Sue has been very patient, and I'm very appreciative she's been even willing to consider this. I think it will have a really positive impact for the town, and it will avoid, I think, a lot of the startup costs that would be needed to get the system going if we didn't have this grant, paying for these would be very difficult, I think, with our budget. So by tomorrow, we should be hopefully in the final stretch toward approval, notification in about a week or so. And I'm hoping that we'll have a plan that at least Sue can make a decision on whether we want to proceed, or and at least in a couple of weeks, we'll have more information. That's where things stand today.
Okay, sounds like Sue did a lot of pre-work in front of that over the years, updating all that documentation. So thank you, Sue.
And Sue, I believe, is still on the call, so if she has anything to add to that, please. This is her baby, so.
Well, this will go that way this time.
Sue, are you still there?
No, she left.
Oh, okay.
So is that something that you're still looking to go after, John?
Yes, I think we should do it.
Okay.
It's the difficulty. The difficulty is really in the timeline that's imposed on us. But I think, using the funds to do a lot of the capital investment, the startup costs for the online system, which is significant. It's $5,500 that gets us a scanner, and it gets us access to uploading information for public searching. Investing in, new computer for Sue and a public station where people, can the records from the town office, and basically get us ready to go to add more information. And then hopefully when there is capacity at COT Systems, then that's this vendor that we would be using, to just simply import Sue's database. I think that would be the easiest way forward. And we'd have, 45 years worth of land records online. I think that would be fantastic. But Sue, like you'd mentioned, Sue did all of that work up front to have it typed in already. And that's a huge win for us.
No, absolutely. And again, I know she's not online, but thank you, Sue. So you were going to send them, John, the new information that they requested after this?
Immediately after this meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Already typed up.
Perfect. Thank you. Anything else, Jeff, Jennifer, on this?
The 45 years going back is not, we don't have to do that to meet the grant timeline. That's just kind of above and beyond, correct, John?
That's correct. We will not be doing 45 years for this grant. We're only going to be pursuing the minimum, which is 5 years.
Correct.
Yeah. So, it's supposed to be done by the 1st of November. It's going to be really tight. So we'll do 5 years. And then once down the line, when we have everything set up already, use the grant funds to have everything ready to go, so that when we do have the option to just import Sue's database, we can do so.
Yep, I think that's a great idea.
And do we have somebody lined up to do the scanning of those books if the grant does come through?
So the initial thought was that COT Systems would offer that service. They don't think they'll have the capacity or ability to do it. Scanning the books is fairly straightforward. This is an automatic document feeder type scanner. It takes 80 some pages at a time and just scans through them, and without any labor, really, very minimal labor. I don't have a particular person interested right now. I think it is Sue's job if she wants it. Of course, like that's her responsibility to maintain. And if not, I've put myself out there as, I'm not going to submit this grant and then walk away from it. So I'm kind of on the spot to make sure it gets done. So.
And if you need any help out there, John, tap me on the shoulder. I'm willing to come and give you a hand.
Oh, appreciate that. Well, this is, like I said, I want to make sure that Sue is in the driver's seat for all of this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Nope, very good. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Select Board Admin Assistant. town administrative assistant.
So this is part of this ongoing conversation about the select board admin assistant.
Yep.
And I have had 3 deaths in my family since the middle of February. And a little bit of reeling from it, if you want to know the truth. And it became obvious. I took some time off about 10 days ago. And it became obvious that although hopefully I have plenty of years left on this planet, those I care most about did not and may not going forward. So I can no longer afford the time to be tied to the state of Vermont, and in particular to the select board office. So we are going to have to look for somebody to take over the admin work for the select board. I would like to do this as soon as possible, just as I have another aging parent with health issues. I've looked over the select board clerk description many times, and I have just numerous problems with it. So I think that we're going to just have to come up with something. I know we have 2 very active select board members at the moment who are, more than willing to help with the admin stuff in terms of whoever comes into this position. I was sort of thinking we could tie this into the PC clerk, but it sounds like the PC clerk may be there. One thing I have, I really have constant questions about. I've had an individual in town who was going up one side of me and down the other about making decisions on my own. And yet I find that I'm not the only select board member that seems to do that. And I think that it points to the weaknesses of the 3-person select board. I know that the Vermont League of Cities and Towns has advocated more for like a town administrator, town manager position. And one of the reasons is because of the challenges facing a 3-person select board, both in terms of making sure there's no violation of the open meeting law, but also in terms of making sure things are taken care of in a timely fashion. So I'm wondering if we look at this as like a part-time town administrator. I'm not sure. I think we need to sort of discuss this. But these are just duties that I can no longer afford the time to do.
So that would go back to the times where we do part-time administrative duties for an individual.
That's correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. And
So
I'm okay with that under all considerations with your, circumstances that you have, and we do appreciate you for all the time you have spent putting these agendas and requests in line. So
Much job back.
kudos and thanks to you, Jennifer. So I would say we need to look at this and move forward as soon as we can.
Making decisions on my own. Apparently, I'm not the only select board member who's doing that.
No swimming.
Even you do it, Mr.
No swimming.
Well, I guess the question is are we town administrative assistant?
Okay, I'm about to go deal with this problem.
somebody's got their mic on.
Cover for me if it comes up. So I can do tomorrow,
So
So what's the best way to move forward here? Advertise a position?
yes, I think we got to determine what the functions are of the individual, determine the hours that we need to have a individual within the position, and come up with the salary that the position is going to be offered at.
I mean, how immediate is your move out of that position, Jennifer?
By the 1st of November at the absolute latest.
Okay,
So to discuss that job description, we have to do that all together in public.
yep,
Right, yeah, I'll put something together.
Okay.
And we may have to do a special meeting in a couple of weeks anyway, just to deal with some of these various grant pieces as well. So perhaps we can, I'll put it together and we can look at it again then.
Okay.
yep. Okay, so we'll table that to another special meeting, Jennifer, Jeff, and move to others with Craig Hupvader. Craig, are you on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's your court.
Okay, so basically, there was a bit of a glitch with the testing. The intent was to test the town garage, and the town office well was the one that actually got tested. And now they've recalibrated and they are testing the town garage well. It could work to our advantage because we're not going to pay for the error, and we'll have a comparison of the two different wells. Any questions about that?
Nope. So when do they expect to have that information to you for the new test?
It's a little amorphous, but soon.
Okay.
So what I'd like to propose, if you're still amenable to cooperating around a solution, is to have us be open-minded about which well is the better well. And if the select board is still open to moving forward in a partnership, I will move forward with getting an agreement drawn up that would be ready for the October meeting. Of course, contingent on all of the available data.
We'd have to know also, as well as what was the state recommendations for the well, knowing that the town well or the office well is downstream from the contaminated site.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't think it's going to really be that we're going to go with the town office well. I think the newer, more viable well is most likely to be the town garage well, which doesn't have that issue you just raised.
Yep. I haven't changed my position on that, Craig, so you know, I can't speak for the other board members, so I'll let Jeff and Jennifer jump in as well.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get the test results on the garage and just keep moving forward.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Is there anything that you want me to specifically raise or delineate with, our lawyer and, drafting a potential agreement? Because I think, once we know the test results for both wells and I present that to you on the October meeting, it would be good to be able to move quickly. To the state has, Mark, this because at I think it was the June meeting, we had all the power problems, but you were able to stay on.
Yep.
There's about $200,000 approved to resolve this issue for the school. Yep. And should not incur any expense to the town. So I think if we have an agreement in place for October, we can move forward.
Yep, and again, you hit it right on the nail right on the head with not incurring any cost to the town.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, any other questions that any of you have? I'd like to be able to present to the state. The state has two sets of bureaucracies working on this, the investigative side and the remedy side, as I explained earlier. And they don't seem to be working hand in glove, so to speak.
I didn't have any additional expectations on my part. Jeff, Jennifer?
Nope.
No, none here.
No,
Yeah.
I think we just move forward as planned.
Okay,
Greg?
thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, moving on. Don, you're on for Button Up Vermont.
I think he sounded like he was taking off there. He said he had to take care of something.
Are you still with us, Don?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're at the moment. Now and come back to something? Come back?
We can do, Mark, she asked if we could come back to this item once Don returns.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move on, and before we go into executive order, we'll come back to Don's portion of it, Rhonda.
Okay.
I have one other thing I want to add under other, and
Yes.
that is, the retail cannabis bill is moving again through the Vermont legislature. They have now agreed to make it a requirement for towns to vote in. Instead of the opt-out, they're doing the opt-in. So towns need to vote in favor of allowing, retail establishments in town before they can set up shop. I mean, this is going to take years in the process, but they have reached that piece of it. And I think that's good, so that towns do have the opportunity to opt in. They are still working on the tax associated with cannabis operations. The Senate is still for the 2% local option tax to be assessed on any cannabis establishments in town. The House is not in favor of that, which means if the town doesn't have a local option tax, there would be no revenue coming in from whether it was a shop, a cultivator, a processor, whatever. But they are still hashing that piece out. One would hope that they go with the 2% local option tax, so the towns do have some of that revenue coming in. But anyway, it is an opt-in at this point, and at some point, probably in the future, the town will have to, vote on opting in to anything that might set up in town.
Yeah, that's something we can look at, before the next voting in March.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be coming that quickly, but the bill is moving forward, the legislation is moving forward, and I think we need to pay attention because it could have some
Good.
consequences on the town of Mount Holly as a whole.
Yep. No, very good. Thank you. Moving to line item 8, announcements / other business, household hazardous waste collection, Saturday, September 26th, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. only. And we do have to follow all the COVID requirements. Then COVID response, farm to plate program.
Yeah, so we were contacted by the Regional Planning Commission. In terms of emergency management, the state has funded this program throughout different counties. So I was going to work with the Farmers Food Center in West Rutland to participate in this program. So I'll be doing newsflash updates and chit chat as we go forward here, but the program runs from now till the end of the year. And basically it's a program to help keep restaurants busy. So they're offering these meals to people that have been affected by COVID, not just necessarily in terms of food insecurity, but self-certified program. If you've been affected in any way, you can access these meals. So doing a small dry run this week with the homeschool coordinator and see how it goes. But just wanted to put it out there to, I'll be putting more information on the newsflash about offering it to their residents.
No, very good. Very good. In 2020 census, we're asking everybody to please comply to the census.
Yeah, you know, Mount Holly has one of the lower response rates at 38.5%. And, you know, Rutland County's at about 55%. So we definitely want to make sure everybody completes that census. It's dollars into the coffers of the state of Vermont and of course into the counties as well.
Correct. That's how some of the state funding is granted from the government. Okay, then town office health/safety requirement reminder. Masks are required, social distancing, contact log, all that stuff has to be in place. I know there's some businesses and some meetings being held to no more than 10 people across the state. That's above and beyond what the state requirements are. But I know there's some businesses out there that are taking this very seriously. So we also want to make sure we take it very seriously within our town office. And we thank everybody for complying. Then moving on to others, anything else that we want to add?
We were, as the EMD, we were offering free masks for everyone. I think we're pretty much out. We got about 270 masks, and surprisingly enough, many people came by and picked them up at the town office. They were in packs of 5. So I did ask for more masks, but at the moment they're not handing any more masks out. Vermont Emergency Management was just a one-time thing. So, but I am happy to see that people were utilizing them.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Don, are you back on?
Jeff, or I mean, Mark?
Yes.
Brigid Sullivan, if the town needs more masks for use in the town office or at the town garage, Rotary has more available for you. Let me know.
Okay, thank you. I will get with Sue tomorrow and I'll talk with Clinton as well and see what they need, and then I'll contact you.
Are you able to come? They're calling for you.
I would also say that fire and rescue are also eligible.
Okay. Thank you, Bridget.
Certainly.
Yes, Rhonda.
Will be in the town office tomorrow morning.
Okay, he'll be at the town office tomorrow morning? Okay. Okay, thank you, Rhonda. Okay, we need to do the review and the sign of the orders at the town office. At this point, we can move into executive session Title I VSA S313A3 for personnel and going over the letters of interest for the Conservation Commission. Jeff, are you gonna call us and hook into us?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you.